All right, we welcome Kentucky Coach Calipari and student athletes to the stage. We will follow our normal format. We'll take a statement from Coach Calipari. We'll turn it over to questions for student athletes, and when those are exhausted, we will return to questions for Coach Calipari. We have 12 minutes for this session, and I'd remind you to raise your hand when you have a question. We'll get a microphone to you, and if you can direct questions to specific student athletes, that's very helpful. Coach Calipari?
Well, just my comment to the players after the game was the reason this has been the most rewarding season I've had in over 30 or however many I've done this is because of what's happening for Wenyan, what's happening for Hami. You saw what he is and what he's capable of today. Let me say this. You may say, well, all year, I was trying to learn about him and he was trying to learn about me. We were trying to figure this out. Everybody said, why are you starting him? Because he deserves it. I love him, and he's going to do this. It just took us a long time. Wenyan, the same. He had to conquer himself. When you're not playing well, you got to kick out of it and go. He's doing it. And Shea, I really didn't enjoy coaching Shea, but he's a good kid, I guess. But
questions for Kentucky student athletes?
I think it was Hamadou I asked yesterday about whether they were overestimating the importance of experience. Do you think you answered the question today?
The same way I answered it yesterday. We've been getting that all year. We're too young. We're not experienced. And we just try to come out and try to prove everybody wrong. And that's what we did today. And can't feel better about this win.
Shea, at one point after you hit a three-pointer, you turned to the crowd and silenced them. And do you enjoy kind of when you have a crowd against you? Does that kind of feed you guys?
Yeah, this whole group, we're a bunch of competitors. We go at it every day in practice, and that's how we get better. But yeah, we all love playing when the crowd's against us, and we, like Hami just said, we love proving people wrong, and that's what we did today.
This is for all three of you. I'm sure you saw that Virginia lost yesterday. Is that a wake-up or a reminder to see when a huge upset like that happens? Is that something that reminds you that anything can happen in March Madness and makes you even play more on your game?
Shea, let's start with you.
Yeah, Coach has been telling us this whole week that you never know what can happen in this tournament, and players got to step up and make plays and stuff like that. And we don't even focus on any other team but ourselves right now. We're just trying to get better each and every game and try to put it on the other opponent.
Wenyan?
Yeah, definitely. I don't watch too much of the other games, but we hear about those upsets, and it just kind of tells us to lock in some more and focus in, and that anything can happen when we come in, like how Shea said. So it should really bring us together even more.
Hamadou?
It just makes us play with a more chip on our shoulder because we don't want to end our season now, and we want to keep playing until the last game. So we're just coming out there with an even more chip on our shoulder.
This is for all three of you. Coach Cal frequently jokes about all the players that he sent to the NBA, telling him that he's held them back while they've been in college. We know we haven't seen all your full games yet. What parts of your games has he been holding you back on?
Hamadou, let's start with you.
Hami has a list.
We're just trying to get better every day. We know it's going to be a lot of adversity. We knew that when we was coming here. We're playing with a bunch of talented players, so every night can't be your night. And that's what we knew when we was coming here, and that's why we chose to come here. So I don't got a list.
No, man, we just go try to go out there and play to win the game right now and show our strengths. The other stuff's gonna come later on in your careers, and right now we just gotta focus on what makes us look good out there.
Shea?
Myself, including this whole group, has probably felt like he's held us back at one point in time in this season. But if you really know the game and you watch the game, when we do what he's asking us to do, we're a much better team, and you guys have seen it in the past couple of weeks.
Made it tough on them to start the game. Defensively, you jumped 20 to 10. You were up. Was there any talk about what was for maybe Shea defense? Your focus defensively to start the game. They're the underdog. Was there talk? Don't let them give them hope or match their intensity. Anything like that?
Our identity is defensively, so that's the first thing we focus on going into every game. we know that if we shut down the other team, we're capable and we have enough talent and enough sets to score as much points as we want. And we just go into every game trying to lock up the other opponent.
Shea, you showed up, obviously with a reputation of excelling at defense. Clearly, the last, few games, you have been a huge factor offensively. What point along the season did the offense open up for you in the sense that you saw where your shots were going to be and what you could do at this level?
I'd say about midpoint through the season, I really nailed in on my game, watched a lot of film, and I was really taking in what coach was asking of me and what this team needed me to do. And then I just tackled it. And once I cleared that rollout and stuff like that, I just worked on my game and got better every day.
All right, we'll dismiss Kentucky's student athletes and thank them. And once they've left the stage, we'll direct questions to Coach Calipari.
Thanks, Coach. Obviously, the freshman thing gets played and played and played. But
I whine.
But you whine. Yes, we remember.
Coach and I talked about it before the game. Nate and I talked that, there's nothing there. I mean, he's a great guy and a heck of a coach now. What he's done and how that team plays and what they've done in their league, amazing. It's amazing.
But what I wanted to ask you was, sorry. Obviously today was a game with a ton of peril, and the other night was a game that had all kinds of things that could have happened. So would you say your kids might have graduated to the next class now, or are they beyond your regular freshmen?
There'll still be experiences in this tournament as we go forward that they've never faced, and I'm going to have to try to talk them through it. I told them at halftime that Buffalo's going to make a run. They may even tie the game up. So what? Just keep playing. They made their run and they got it to 6. They may have gotten it to 4. And I just said, this is what happens in this stuff. Now you got to keep playing. I think, again, we are inexperienced in all that stuff, but I got good players. And my challenge was they had to establish themselves first. Hami's still figuring it out. Second thing is they had to change how they thought about training and working and preparation. I talked to them today. We had a great shoot-around today. And I said, the beginning of the year, Sean Farnham watched us at South Carolina and said, that's one of the worst shoot-arounds I've ever seen one of your teams have. We had guys laughing and joking, and I've had to stop and scream, and it was an hour and 10 minutes. My shoot-arounds are 40 minutes, 42, 45 minutes. Today, they were really good, and I said, you know what? It takes my teams a year to really learn how important it is to use the entire day to prepare for a game. So, it's rewarding to see individuals do what they're doing, but it's also rewarding to get them to understand they need each other, because this is a team sport. And I said this before. Pat Riley said to me, one of the best compliments, your players are all good teammates in this league. They come in this league and they understand they all have to share. And you're right, they've all had to give up something, and I held them back. You asked DeMarcus or Anthony, ask Devin. He's still mad that I didn't start him. Anytime, am I going to start now? Devin Booker had 70 in an NBA game, and I didn't start him. I mean, there's not a guy, Eric Bledsoe, all of them. You held me back. I was, okay, you're doing all right. I said, will you buy dinner? But,
Coach, you've come a long way with these young men. Youth aside now, going into the next round, if you can name one thing, just one thing that you would like to instill in them as a team or as individuals for the next round, what would it be?
Well, let me take that back. Nick is the only one that's not breaking through right now. For him personally, I want to see Nick Richards step up and block and dunk and play. He's kind of holding himself back right now. I start him just like I did Hami every game because I want him to break through. As a team, the biggest thing is everyone is connected. Everyone is for each other. And we still have a couple guys that aren't quite the servant leaders that they need to be. Like, I'm playing for everyone else. Well, if I got a whole team of guys that are doing that, I'm not playing for me. I'm playing for everybody else. That's when this thing takes off. We're getting closer, but that's probably the one thing I hope.
We have time for two more right here and right here.
John, I was reading about Shea's early morning sessions. Do you see some MKG at all in his habits?
Michael Kidd Gilchrist had the morning breakfast club. This kid goes, Shea Alexander, goes at 7 a.m., but he also watches tape. Like, he'll go up and show me my turnover, show me what you want. What he was missing was any kind of skip. He couldn't see it. And so you got to keep showing him, and then when he does it, you have to reward him. And now you're seeing him come down and throw skip passes, but it took 2 months. And he has a spirit about him, a smile. Every Canadian kid, I don't know how I don't get every Canadian kid, but Jamal Murray, Trey, Michael, they all like have smiles, and they have a, when Jamal would come in practice, he'd look at me and go, Coach, like I wasn't smiling. Smile. And so his spirit starts moving us that way. He was the one guy that was having fun. The other guys on this team 2 months ago, everything was a struggle. This kid was just smiling and laughing. I kept bringing it up. Be like him. Happy-go-lucky here, but he's working. On time to everything. Never late for anything. Goes to class, does all that he's supposed to do, and look at him. He's playing himself into being one of the best players in the country.
Last question.
Coach, you didn't hit any threes 2 days ago. Very efficient, though, today, 7 of 15. Seemed like every time UB put a little bit of a run on you, you got one of your guys would come up and hit a big three. How big was that?
I think the last 10 games we're shooting 40% from the three-point line. Now, against Davidson, we only took 6. And I'm still trying to figure out, how did we only take 6? Was it their defense? Was it what we did? Was it that we were trying to be aggressive? I don't know. But we want to take between 15 and 18 threes. We're not taking 30. Anytime in the history of my career, my team takes 30 shots from the three, we lose. We don't win those games. We're not relying on threes, but we shoot 40%. It's a different, I mean, some guys are going to shoot 30, and that's how they coach, and it's great. It's not what I do.
All right, thank you, Coach. I would remind you that Coach Calipari and Kentucky student-athletes are available in the locker room. See Eric Lindsay and his staff, and we'll have Buffalo representatives in just a moment. All right, we welcome Buffalo Coach Oats and student athletes to the stage. We'll follow the normal format of a brief opening statement from Coach, followed by questions for the student athletes. And a reminder, if you'd raise your hand when you have a question, we'll get a microphone to you. And if you can direct questions to specific student athletes during that segment, that would be helpful. Coach?
I mean, you got to give Kentucky a ton of credit. They shot it well from three. We needed them to shoot a little bit more like Arizona did. You know, they shot 7 of 15 from three. So part of our game plan was to try to get them to shoot threes and, you know, keep the ball out of the lane. I didn't think we did a very good job keeping the ball out of the lane. That has a lot to do with them. They're pretty good athletes and some really good players. There's a reason that 3 of those guys are supposed to go in the first round, and there's probably some more that are going to be pros. They had just had more length all over the place, and I think it affected our shooting. Usually we shoot a lot better. You know, we were 7 of 31 from three, and a lot of that had to do with Kentucky's length and just challenging shots. And we only had 8 assists. Usually we're, you know, pushing 20 assists. Our turnovers weren't bad, but we just didn't get the ball moving. And they're great. They're a great team. They're a great defensive team. And Cal's got them playing really well at the right time of the year. I think they've won 10 of their last 11, and we kind of ran into a buzzsaw here tonight.
Questions for Buffalo student athletes?
This question's for all 3 of you. Obviously a tough game, but you guys gained a lot of fans while you were out here in Boise. Would you hope that people that might be new to watching you guys remember this team?
Dante, let's start with you and work out.
Well, it just goes to show that, like, what type of guys we have, what type of coaches we have, what type of program we have. We're unselfish guys that play really hard, and you know, things happen. Kentucky is a good team, and I feel that we could have played a little better, but you know, things happen.
Wes?
On top of us being good looking, you know, we do play hard though. We do play hard, and you know, we got some grit to it. So it's fun. We're a fun team to watch, and you know, we appreciate Boise coming in with True Blue.
CJ?
I just want to say thank you to all the Boise fans. You know, we felt they welcomed us really well. We pulling in for the game. They lined up out there waving at us. Boise has a lot of friendly people, and it's somewhere I will definitely come back to. And I just want to say thank you to all the fans.
Dante, just, you know, given the matchups, you had to guard 6'9" Knox. Actually, you didn't do bad. What do you think of? What did you think? Obviously, it's tough matchups, and have you ever guarded a 6'9" power forward before?
It's not the first time I guarded somebody that size. I think last year I guarded a 4-man from Nevada, if I'm not correct. So it just shows that I could guard not just the 1 and the 2 and the 3. I'm strong for my size, but I know he's a great guy. He's a great player. So, yeah.
To all of the players, what was your mentality really between, say, Bonaventure, Buffalo, and Syracuse, putting Western New York on the map, and then you have UMBC defeating #1 Virginia? What was that, knowing that Western New York, all underdogs coming into the tournament, and then you guys going up against Kentucky? What was that like going into the game, knowing that it would be yet another upset?
CJ?
Western New York has a lot of, like, good basketball, you know. I like St. Bonaventure's team. I like Syracuse team a lot. We came into this tournament just trying to make some noise, you know, trying to be remembered. We felt like we could play with a lot of high majors, and we showed it. Yeah.
Wes?
Western New York is good, and I think a lot of people overlook, you know, some of the good players just because, you know, we come from mid majors or you know, lower division schools, but we are good, and it's good to put Western New York on the map.
Dante?
Just to tab it off those guys, it just goes to show what type of program we have, coaches, and inside our area, Coach Boeheim and St. Bonaventure coach, you know, great coaches that's going to get their guys well prepared for the games.
For Wes and for CJ, knowing what you guys went through this year and where you got to, I mean, it's hard to do right now, but how fantastic was this ride to get the first NCAA tournament win in program history and do it the way you did it?
Wes, let's just go with you, and then we'll get these last two questions in.
It's phenomenal for me, man. I know it looked like a loss right now, but it was definitely a win for me. You know, I've never been to the NCAA tournament, and for me to get here and win a game and winning with these guys, you know, it's just phenomenal, man. It's a great feeling. It's exciting, and I'm glad to be in the Buffalo jersey.
I guess CJ or anyone wants to take it. You lost the game tonight. This is a lot of happy talk about putting Buffalo on the map, but you guys expected to win this game, so how disappointing is it to have not gone a little further?
CJ?
It's very disappointing. Trust me, we didn't go back in that locker room and it was all happy talk. We were kind of down on ourselves, but at the end of the day, it's gonna hurt for about 2 weeks. But at the end of the day, after it's all said and done, we can be proud of what we did for Buffalo and as a collective group.
Last question.
CJ, you've got another year here with the Bulls. So what you guys have built up over the past couple of years, I mean, what does that say about how much there is to look forward to next year?
Man, this program is just trending in the right direction. Even our women's team, they just got a win today in the NCAA tournament. This whole school is just trending in the right direction. After the season, we get a couple weeks off. We're gonna get back to work, and we say a term of making our ceiling our new floor. You know, this was our ceiling. We won a game in the NCAA tournament. That's gonna be our new floor, and we just build off of that.
All right, we'll dismiss the student athletes and thank them. And once they've left the stage, we'll direct question to Coach Oats. Thank you, guys. Questions for Coach?
Right here, Nate. After that dunk from Hami that put them up 20, you called a timeout, about 3 minutes left to go. And then when you guys went back out on the floor, Cal apologized to you. Was he apologizing because that Hami posed in front of the band?
I don't know what he apologized for. He didn't need to apologize for me. They're playing basketball. At first I thought he was telling me they were going to go to a zone, and then I realized, he's apologizing. I'll say this. I apologized to him before the game. I used the word whining. That was a bad word choice for him talking about their youth all year. I told him I should have just said he's talking about it. I don't know why I chose that word. So Big Blue Nation certainly let me know about it. So you don't want to make them mad. They tweet at you all day long. But I apologized to him. He said he didn't take it the wrong way. I've known him for a while. I've got a ton of respect for him. Used to go to his program in Memphis. We ran the dribble drive at Romulus basically because of what he did at Memphis. So he did apologize. We had a good talk before the game. I don't know what he felt bad about, but he's a good guy. I appreciate him doing it. He didn't need to though.
Coach, I believe both teams ended up making 7 threes, and it took you guys twice as many to make those 7. That had to be a huge factor in the way
it was
this
huge.
one.
Yeah, it took us 31 and it took them 15. I mean, they shot almost 50% from 3. So, they were 0 for 6 against Davidson. We wanted to make them shoot a lot more than 6, but we did not want them to make half of them. So, and Jeremy's been our best shooter, him and CJ, but Jeremy's been on fire, really, those first 2 MAC tournament games. And I think their length bothered him a lot. They're running at him. We just couldn't get – they're great defensively. Like, I talked to Sean Miller after our game. He just said they guard way better than us, and it's true. I mean, they're unbelievable defensively. Cal gets them to play hard, and they were playing with a chip on their shoulder. And they've got a great chance to make it. I mean, I think they'd play Cincinnati maybe if they can get by the next round, or whoever knows. But they got a pretty good shot to go to the Final Four. It'll be they got a chance to win these next 2 games.
2 things. One, could you just talk about the problem of defending Shea, Gilgeous, Alexander? I mean, you did move CJ on him, but that meant you had to put Dante on the 6'9" guy. And then just comment on Wes Clark's performance in his season.
Look, Alexander, I told our guys, there's a reason this guy's projected to be a lottery pick. He's going to be the best point guard we've seen all year. And he was. I mean, he passes it, he scores it. He's 6'6", he's long. Devontae and Dante usually can kind of take other guards out of it, but we started out trying to deny him the ball back once he gave it up, but he's so long at 6'6", you can't. He gets open, then he gets it, and then I saw some teams try to trap him on ball screens. He's 6'6", he throws over the trap, they dunk it. We tried to guard it a little bit differently. He still comes off, he throws it up, they dunk it. He finishes at the rim. We didn't really have an answer for him tonight. That was a major problem for us defensively, and then. We were supposed to be loading up and really playing tight in the gap, so then they start making some threes. We cut it to, I don't know if it was 4 or 5. We cut it, was it 4? 4 or 5, and then they hit back-to-back threes, if I remember right. It kind of killed us right there. And they got some dunks in crucial times. To me, Alexander makes them go. He was big. And then what was the question about Wes? Listen, I told him I'm so proud of him. He came from, we got a history, obviously. I coached him in high school, but for him to come in with the one semester, he took this program to new heights. We don't do what we did this year without him on the team. I thank the guys for welcoming him in. If there were some selfish, guys that were all about themselves, they would have not welcomed him in. They wanted him on their team. They wanted to win. He showed up in a big way. He's 0 for life against Kentucky. I don't think he didn't beat Kentucky at Missouri either. He was trying to make this his first, but it's a pretty good program. He showed up. He had 26 and 6 assists. He had 6 of our 8. We only had 8. I thought he showed he belonged out there. Alexander's a pro. I think Wes is right there with him. He's pretty dang good tonight.
Last question right here.
Yeah, I think you gave it 22 dunks and layups. Were you a little worried about that because your post defense isn't your real strength?
Was that what it was? That we gave up 22 either dunks or layups?
That's what we counted, yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. It was bad. We didn't want the ball getting in the lane. They got in the lane too much. They hit the threes. They didn't shoot enough of them. We wanted to keep it out of the lane, make them shoot more threes. And then one of the major problems was we got rebounded by 12 too. I just said the 3 things had to happen for us to win. We had to keep the turnovers down to keep them out of transition. We only had 10, so that wasn't bad. But defensively, we had to keep the ball in the lane. We had to keep them off the old boards. Well, we got out rebounded by 12, and they were in the lane all night. So we didn't do what we were supposed to, and they're just that good. We're a pretty good defensive team, but we weren't good enough tonight. And they're a great offensive and defensive team both.
All right. If you need more from Coach Oats or Buffalo student athletes, please see Brian Wolf. Thank you, Coach.